Hello, welcome back. Good evening, good morning, whenever you're watching this. Welcome back to Life Bloom. And today we are talking about the secret to feeling heard and feeling understood in any relationship. So, my name is Yaara. This is my sister Rakefet. How are you? How are you feeling?
Honestly, tired
Yes.
actually, because here it's quite late here in Israel, but I'm very excited to talk about our topic today. Yeah,
I'm
so
also
I'm ready.
tired. So I think we're starting off with just a tired mom mood, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, this is our community, right? For real women, real
Tired mom.
living real life, full lives. Yeah, and still choosing to grow. So if it's your first time, first of all, just let me tell you about us. We are a Life Bloom community, community for real women living full lives and still choosing to grow. We are here for self growth, being honest, like we are spiritual support. It's grounded and just feeling the rhythm, finding the right rhythm for each one of us, and during joy, just living with joy without thinking about how it needs to be, and it doesn't have to be perfect, because we judge ourselves so many times, and life is here. We are here to be happy. We are here to choose self observation, but not judging ourselves. And this help us grow together. So we are here today, yeah, with this important topic.
Yeah. Why am I not feeling heard and understood in any type of relationship? I think we all know this. That we all know this feeling, right? If it's with our partner, if we have one, if it's with our parents, with our friends, with our sisters and brothers, with our children, which is also our responsibility to teach them effective communication. But how will we teach them if we are not succeeding on this ourselves? So it's a skill we have to always work on so that we can really be effective also with our children so that they can grow to have effective relationships, effective
Yes.
communication in their relationships. Yeah. So let's dive
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah, so you started saying that really it's we're going to talk about communication in a relationship, and it's not just in couples. It's very important because we have relationship with so many people in our life. Two people talking to one another is a relationship. Living together is a relationship.
Mhm.
Growing together, working together, it's a relationship.
Mhm.
More than two people, it's a more complicated relationship. But
Yeah.
it's important when we are looking at a relationship, and you can take it to which relationship that you need this tools that we're going to talk about. You can use it in all kind of relationships. When we are looking at a relationship, we need to remember, first of all, that there are two different people in this
Mhm.
relationship. Different people, different needs, coming from a different background, different beliefs, different life experience. And because of
Different
that,
triggers.
yeah, exactly. Because of that, we have different buttons, different triggers, and we can easily, okay, just click on the button for the other person and making, I don't know, feeling very
Mhm.
hurt, very upset, and we don't even know that because we are so different.
Mhm.
And for starter, we just need to remember that two people are two different
Different
needs and two
worlds.
different worlds. Yes, and
Yeah.
even sometimes speak in two different languages.
Even physically, from coming from different. I mean, I live in Berlin, and growing up in Israel and living in a place like Berlin, and I know that even the German language, when you grow up speaking a certain language, your mind is wired to think in a certain way. So the German language is very like straightforward. Words are exactly what they mean, and it makes you think very like strict, very, So even if you are in a couple or in a relationship, sorry, not in a couple, in a relationship with someone that has a different culture that you come from, then that means that the way that you interpret things, the world, your feelings, other people's, the things that they speak to you, the way that you interpret is different because your mind understands things in a different way. So
Yeah.
I think this is the base. Like every tool that we will talk about now has to come from this understanding. This is the ground. We are two different people, two different worlds. And a we need to start having respect for that, to recognize that in everything, and
Remind yourself
try.
that a lot.
What?
And remind ourselves that a lot, because
Yeah.
in a communication, in a situation that we are angry at one another, or we don't understand one another, we need to remind ourselves we are two different people coming from different worlds.
Yeah. And I think with time, we also start having love towards that and appreciating that, and seeing that actually, if this person was exactly the same as I, first of all, it would be much more difficult because two
Yes.
people are getting angry at the
Yes.
same thing and struggling with the same thing is much more challenging than once I'm angry and then another time they're angry and we can talk about this. Um, and also, you start to kind of get a little bit like, see the positive aspects of this different world on you and how it can change you, right? But we'll get to it a bit later. But I think that, like, a little bit down the road, you learn to love the fact that this person is different than me, and I can grow from it, I can learn from it, I can see my reflections and see where I am struggling, where I need to grow and to do some work, thanks to this reflection that is different than me.
Yeah, and also we need to remember, as you said, like you said, that you gave an example for people in German that they speak in a different way. We also have different like gestures that we do, and the way we express ourselves. You know, people that are talking like they're cynical, and others don't
Mm,
understand that, and they we might experience that like we were being laughed at. We
yeah.
need to remember that this is a way for that person to express themselves, and it doesn't have to do
Yeah.
anything with us. Sometimes it's just who they are, and we
Mhm.
remember that we have different style to talk. You know, it reminds me that about a month ago, my daughter, she have a group with her friends on WhatsApp, and they're 11 years old, and a lot of them wrote some things, and they got into a really big fight. And when I
Mm.
read it, I noticed that it could be said in different ways, and I just thought if they would say it to one another, because they
Speak
weren't
it.
laughing. Yeah, if they spoke about it, they weren't laughing about that girl, and she thought they are laughing at her, and she was really offended by that. And then I told my daughter, call her and tell her what you meant. And by speaking about it, it solved everything.
Yeah.
Because really we are trying to say something, and we know exactly what we are trying to say, but the other person has no idea what we're trying to say. They think they do, and they also have, when you're thinking, the sentence of the person, and you already finish it in your mind, but then the other person, that's not what they meant at all.
Yeah.
They didn't mean that. Oh,
Yeah.
hello, there are people joining us, I didn't see that. Oh,
Cool.
hello, hello.
Hello. Um, yes, and also I feel, there is something that is happening to me lately a lot with my partner. This is a bit of a stressful time for us in our life, and I
Mhm.
notice that when he gets like focused into something, and like we're talking about something that we're both stressed about, and what
Yeah.
he does is he like goes into, I'm gonna look online right now, and he just shuts down, like he doesn't speak to me, and I'm like, tell me what's going on, tell me what's going on, tell me what's going on, and when he doesn't speak, I get even more stressed, and I noticed this pattern repeating. So I started telling him, okay, notice right now you're doing that thing, that you're not saying what you're thinking, and it's scaring, it's stressing me out even more. It's just this specific habit. Notice that it's happening right now. So
Yeah.
let's start going a little bit deeper into what this actually means and how to work with this.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
So what does it mean? What does it really mean, that we want someone to hear us and to understand us? It means that we really need to understand ourselves first. I think I need to understand what are my needs, so I can talk and say them to the other person, because it's more difficult for the other person to understand my needs if I don't know what they are.
mhm,
And like the example that you just gave, I had a conversation with my partner a few days ago also about that topic, when I told him, when you're in stress, you need to shut down, you need your space. But when I'm in stress, I need hugs. So when I'm in stress and you're shutting down, it scares me because it feels like I'm all by myself.
yeah,
You're not listening to me. you're stressed and I'm coming and hugs you, is just don't giving you what you really need. So when I tell you, listen, right now I'm in a stressful time, I need your hug, he understands what I need, and I tell him, I know that you're not like me. And at the
Yeah.
time when he needs his space, I tell him, what do you need? I ask him, what do you need from me? Because if I was in your situation, I know what I need, but I
Yeah.
don't know what you need at this moment.
So I think we're coming to the first and the most important tool that we're going to talk about, and that is observation and
Mm-hmm.
listening and asking questions. But first of all, we start with observation, right? Because we, in this moment right now, when we're talking to someone and we're feeling unheard, then we feel triggered in that moment. So the first thing is, okay, what's going on? Something is happening inside me. I feel discomfort. I probably feel it in my body. Something feels awkward, uncomfortable. Maybe I get stressed. And it could go either way. It could be stressful, it could be sadness, it could be anger. And you will learn with time these patterns. They're repetitive. So it's like a map for your body. You will start recognizing that it's the same feeling coming again and again with this topic, or maybe it's a person. So that's the first step. We want to observe what is going on inside me right now. First of all, let me feel it in my body. What's my body telling me? Let me say to my body, hey, I hear you. I see you. Thank you for showing me this.
Yeah.
Now I see the feelings, the emotions happening in my body. Now, what do they mean? Let's understand, what do they need? Because maybe I'm noticing that I'm stressed, but what does it actually want? What does this emotion actually
What
want?
do I need? Yeah, what will make me feel calm? What will make me feel secure again? What will make me feel safe? What will make me feel centered? And
Mhm.
that I'm here for
Or
me.
maybe I need to express. Maybe
Yeah.
before I need to receive something, I need to say something to express a certain worry. Maybe there's something in me that wants to be spoken, but I am not really, like, the other side is not understanding it the way I want them to understand. So
Hmm.
it could be either I want to receive something, but it could also be that I want to express something.
Yeah, and also when we kind of observe what we are feeling inside, it's very important to give ourselves the time. And I love to ask the question, why do I feel that? I mean, like we were talking about it, about shadow works in another live that we, it reminds me that I used to ask, um, what does it says about me? And then
Mhm.
when I ask myself, what does it says about me feeling, anxiety or something, I don't know, that I'm very stressed at this moment, what does it says about me? I can really find the belief, the core belief that I have in me.
It's
And
triggered.
yeah, exactly. The button that is being pushed. And then when I feel that and I know that and I know it in my mind, I can talk about it. I can say
Mhm.
that.
In
And
a clear way.
I think that many times in relationship, people are being very protective, and then it's there's a saying that the best protection is
Oh,
fighting back.
yeah.
Yeah. So I what I think is that if I say to the other person in the relationship, and I tell them, listen, it's not your fault, I've been triggered
Hmm.
because I have this belief. And when you said that, it really triggered me. And I
Hmm.
understand you said that not because you wanted to offend me, but this is what I felt.
Yeah.
I was offended. Yeah, I felt like you can't trust me or something like that, whatever it is. But I tell them that I understand it didn't want to hurt me, but this is my belief, and this situation met my belief, and this is
Yeah.
the reason that I was triggered. And then when I say that, first of all, the other person doesn't feel like I'm attacking them. They understand that we have something to talk about, we have something to work about, and that this is, and I take the responsibility on my part, on my feelings, and I understand that I need to work with my feelings. But then I can also tell the other person, please pay attention, because when you're doing that, it triggers me.
Yeah. You're going to the next step, I think, which is, I mean, maybe yes, I like to do things in steps, but it's another tool, which is the effective actual communication, like the words that we use. So if we choose to phrase our sentences in an I perspective, I feel that, I'm being triggered, instead of you're triggering, you are blah, 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 whatever, like
Instead of blaming,
yeah, instead of pointing the blame towards them, we're speaking about what we are feeling right now. And I know it's kind of like, oh yeah, of course it's an effective communication, but it's really hard to do that. When
yeah,
you're triggered in that moment, it's hard to do that. So that's why I said in the beginning, it's a skill. It's something that we keep practicing, we keep working on it. And sometimes it doesn't work because we're very triggered. The topic is very difficult for us. And other times it does. So in Life Bloom, we always say that we prioritize joy over perfection, and we prioritize observation and progress. So it's about not judging myself in that moment, and not like being angry at myself in that moment when I don't succeed, but just coming back to myself. What is happening inside me right now? What am I feeling? And if you feel like it's too triggering right now to actually speak it out in a way that is effective and respectful, then maybe you need a moment to go to the side, to write about it, to speak to yourself in the mirror, do other of the exercises that we always talk about to help yourself understand what's going on inside and be more in your center. And then you can communicate it in a more effective and I want to say loving, but it's loving towards you, because you actually want to receive that thing
yeah,
that you need right now. And once you're able to speak in a way that you are heard clearly, then you're going to receive that. You're going to be able to receive that thing that you really need. So it's, I mean, not all the time. Not all the time. Sometimes it's the other side also is having trouble
express.
hearing, expressing, communicating. Yes. But you can only do you. You can only do the best that you can right now. You can't control other people's reactions, right?
Yeah, you know what I think? I think we haven't said that at the beginning, but it's very important to say it. We said at the beginning that we are two different people coming from different worlds, and we need to remind ourselves that we want to be in this relationship. I mean, if we don't, so obviously we
That's a
can
different story.
leave the relationship if we can, because not all relationship we can. But if it's someone that we choose relationship with, if it's our partner, if it's a work relationship or friends,
Friend.
yeah, if it's if this person is a person that we choose to be in the relationship with, so we remind ourselves that we appreciate that person and we love that person. We understand that we need to work on our communication. We understand that we need to work on our relationship. And then, like you said, sometimes we need to go, okay, and we need to say at that moment, I can't keep on this conversation. I can't stay in this conversation because it will become an argument, and I might say things that I don't want to say, and the other person might not hear what we have to say. We'll speak about it in just a second. And then we say, okay, I understand that at this moment I want to stop the argument. I need to go, and I need to do inner work. I need to ask myself the question to understand my triggers, and then we will be back, and we will be able to talk about it, not just in a calm way, but also more understanding what I really want to say, and what
in
are
an
my
effective
needs.
way, because it's not just about being calm, but also about there is something here that really wants to be spoken, and that's what I want to talk about. I want to refer to this thing that needs to be spoken. So I want to be effective, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's more than when people say, when you're angry, count to 10. Well, counting to 10 might calm me down, but I still won't be able to understand what I really need and what do I really want to say. So sometimes just stopping the conversation in that moment and saying, listen, I need to check with myself what is going on in me at this moment, and what I really want from you, what I really need from you, and what I really want to say, because I might say the things that I don't want to say just because I'm hurt.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say what I really need. And then the other person obviously will be very frustrated because he will not understand what I need. And it's something that we really need to remind ourselves, that when we are in an argument, that when we say, listen, I need a break from this conversation, it's not because we were trying to offend the other person. It's because we really want to take our relationship to the next level of communication, because we appreciate the person. And we might want to say that even to the person. I find myself tell that to my kids, listen, right now we need to stop talking because I need to understand what I want to tell you in the right way that you will be able to hear. And I really want to make sure that you understand what I mean when I say that you are able to hear. Because as we said at the beginning, we are different people. And sometimes the words that I use are words that the other person don't understand what I mean. And sometimes I need to use different words, different phrases, different intonation. How do you say
Mhm.
that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
intonation.
intonation. So because I want the other person to understand, I need to speak in their language. If I
Yeah.
will Chinese and they speak French, we will not understand one another, right? This is obvious if we speak different languages, and it's the same when we are talking to another person. Then they're so um, different from us. You know the book Men from Mars and Women are from Venus. It's because we have different way to communicate. So I want to stop the conversation and tell them I appreciate you. Our relationship is important to me. So I need to understand how to say the things that I have to say to you so that you will understand what I really need. And
Mm.
then I go and I sit down with myself. And after I find out what I need and what are my needs and what are my triggers, as we said at the beginning, this was the first tool of asking myself the questions, and I understand what I need. I ask myself now, the other person that I love and appreciate and I know, how will they hear what I need? How will they understand my needs? What words do I need to use? What phrases do I need to use? What will make them understand what I really need? Because if I tell them I need space, they might feel that I reject them. And if I'll tell them, listen, I need time for myself to observe and to feel what I need, they might understand, okay, they're not leaving me. They just need to connect to themselves. So the right words are very, very important. And we use different phrases when we talk to another person. Even though I want to say it in my own words, I need to speak the words that the other
Awareness.
person will understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the third tool. Very important one.
Mhm. And I want to also speak about when we can see that the other person might be struggling to communicate what they want truly, because you can see it in the body language, right? We said that we listen to our own body and we feel the discomfort in our body, so the body speaks to us. But we can also see on the other person that something within them is in discomfort.
They're not comfortable.
Their body is also speaking to us, so their body language is a huge way to communicate. Even if their words are not, they're not using words, you can still see that whatever they're feeling, they're happy, they're stressed, they're frustrated, they're angry. Especially if you know a person for some time, the eyes, the shape of the mouth, the shape of the eyebrows, the shoulders, these areas of the body will tell you that something is wrong with the other person. They're feeling discomfort. And then we can ask them certain questions to maybe help them communicate in a way that will help us understand better, or maybe guide them a little bit towards understanding what they need. So saying
Mhm.
something like, how can I support you right now in a way that suits you best? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or what do you feel that you need right now? Yeah. Or how does the things that I'm saying making you feel? So we're asking them questions that actually guide them to look inwards. The same way we ask ourselves questions that guide us to look inwards, we can use these questions to guide them to observe, right? To observe in themselves. And then maybe they'll say, hi, you know what? Actually, I feel hurt right now. Because of what you said, I feel hurt. And in that moment, again, we take a breath and we understand what they're saying is not, you hurt me. You said this and this. They're saying, this is triggering to me. My emotions right now are hurting because the thing that you said met my belief, right? So you can use these questions also to assist the other side to create this effective communication. And um, I just want to have a little bit of a side note here, because if someone is not used to doing these kind of observation work, they might not really understand how to answer that question for the first time, the second time, the third time. It
Yeah.
might take a bit of time for them, because they might be like, what do you want in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
But when they go away, the question will stay within them, and they will ask it. They will reflect, because when you ask someone something that is about how they feel, even if there are someone that is not very connected to their emotions, their body hears the question, how do I feel? And it stays inside, and they might need some time to process this new interaction with themselves. But after some time, they might be able to answer a little bit more directly. But again, we have this mutual respect when we understand, like, I need to take some time to go to the side and self observe. They might also need that time. And so, understanding that there is mutual respect here, there's a choosing from both sides to be in this relationship. And we can even be angry at one another, and that's okay, because we come back because we have this mutual ground of respect, of love, and of choice to be in this relationship together. Even if it's family, many people choose not to be in
Very
connection.
important in family.
Yeah, many people choose not to stay in contact with their family. In Germany, it's very common. So we
Really?
choose, yes, we choose to be in a relationship also with people from our family. So there as well, we have trust, we have love, we have a choice to be in this relationship together.
To be patient also, yeah,
To
for
be
other
patient.
people.
To be
Yeah.
patient. Yeah. Yeah.
And let's go together into that, to the new communication that we want to build. It's something that we are building in a relationship, understanding that it's not something that's going to happen just in one time. And as you said before, sometimes we're angry, and even though we know all the rules, all the right tools, we know all of them, sometimes they just been thrown out of the window and we're not able to use them because
yeah.
we're so triggered. Yeah. So being patient with ourselves, with the other person, and just remember that it takes time. When we are building the relationship together, we are really grounding the relationship, and important things like trust and being able to say our needs is something that we really want in a strong,
Mhm.
healthy relationship. We want that. In
Yeah.
order to have a healthy relationship, we need to be able to say what our needs are. When we are hurt, to say that without hurting the other person. We need to be able to hear the other person needs as well. So it's going to take a while, but it's important to tell ourselves we are doing what is important for us to do, because this relationship is important to us. And also to tell the other person, I know it's difficult for you at this moment because they might feel that we are being patronized on them.
Yeah.
We tell them, what do you need? And all these things. I know that from my own experience. But reminding ourselves and the other person, I'm asking you what you need because I want to be there for you.
Yeah.
And that's important. This relationship is important for me. So I want to be there for you. So I'm asking what you need. And even if you don't know to tell me at this moment what you need, I want you to know that I want to hear
Yeah.
what you need. I'm waiting here for you to find out with yourself, and it's okay. And there's no pressure, but just really, I really want to be there for you.
Yeah.
And I think that also when we are saying that, and you mentioned it before, but we need maybe to say that again as a tool as itself, is that we don't want the other person to be like us. We don't want to change the other person. It's really impossible to change another person. I mean, I know many times when I talk to people and I consult people, they tell me, well, if he only been a little bit more whatever it is, well, yeah, he was another person, but I really want him to change, and it's just a small change. Yes, I understand that, but you cannot force him to change or her to change. So what we do is we work on ourselves and being more patient or communicating what we need. And when I'm saying my needs, the other person can react. And when I change the way I react to them, they will react back to us. When I do my inner work, when I am connected to my inner child, when I am able to grow, yeah, when we do the spiritual growth or the personal growth, the other person sees us. And I think one of the most important things that happened to me in my life is becoming a mom and understanding that my kids are watching me. And kids, I have to say that kids are learning not from what we are telling them, they're learning from what we are doing. So I can tell them, be calm, and all day long to shout and to be angry, and they will understand that being angry is the way to live, and this is
Yeah.
what they will do as well. And many times they tell me, Mom, we see you and we see what you're doing. And we know that you are, if I'm stressed, we know that you are stressed and you're trying to calm down in stressful times. I'm stressed right now because it's a summer break. So they tell me, we see that we need rest. Go and take some rest, like you tell us to do. And I'm amazed to see that they understand my needs, even though I don't always say them. And they understand a lot more from watching, and they learn from watching us than what we say. We can
Yeah.
explain a lot of things. Beautiful. We have beautiful words and beautiful, things that we want them to think. But then if we live different way, this is what they learn. So the other person is reacting to who we are. If we want the other person to change, we need to start changing ourselves and the way we talk, what we need, and the other person will decide what to do with that. I mean, it's not that I'm changing myself because I want them to change. I'm working on myself because I want to feel better. So I'm not doing that for them
No,
to
not for
change.
them.
No, it's important. No, I'm doing it for myself.
Yeah. Also, I first of all, your kids are amazing. They're so smart.
Yes, they are.
They're so
Yes.
smart. But kids are like that, right? They're so observant, and they know
In
if we allow them to stay like that, because we can shut it down as parents. We can teach them things, that like clutter this awareness. But if we allow it, then they stay open to their own emotions, to other people's emotions. They
yeah.
stay
Listen,
open.
even to listen to their bodies, how many times that all the beliefs that we have from our parents about food, like you need to finish your food from your plate. No, no, no. They need to listen to what they really need, what their body needs. If they ate just a little bit because they don't want anymore, it's okay. It's fine. Even if I'm going to throw it away, yeah, it's going to be painful maybe, but it's okay as long as they keep on listening to what they really need. It's okay. I want them to be connected to their body. and
Yeah.
and they they are born connected. We just need to help them stay this way.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to speak a moment about the relationship, the relationship itself, because there are two people here, but there's a third entity, a third living thing, and that is the relationship. And our job in this relationship is to be ourselves, the most honest selves that we can, to build this relationship together, right? And the foundations of any good and healthy relationship are trust, respect, healthy communication, right? Choosing, we said that a lot, and I really believe in that. Choosing to be there is like the base of every relationship, because if you're in a relationship because you don't choose to but you're forced to, then it's not based on trust and respect. It's based on just being forced to, right? It's based on pain.
But also, if you're being forced to, and this person is important to you in life, because sometimes it happens, in a relationship, like like if you have a partner and you don't like his family, but you need to be in a relationship with them as well. So you do want this relationship to be as good as possible.
Right.
So,
You still have the responsibility to bring yourself in the
yes,
most respectful, authentic way, and to build a base of trust. And all of these things, they're still valid, right? Maybe it's not the happiest relationship, and it's not the closest person to you in the world, but this base of trust and respect, and these things are still there. And yeah, I think that the thing that I want to emphasize is that we're building this relationship together, and every tool that we can bring in of observation, of honest expression, all of these tools are going to help this relationship be more happy, more relaxed, more trusting. Because when we are able to truly bring ourselves to be honest in a relationship, that's what we're doing. We're creating a safe space, a happy space for both of us, right?
Yes.
So when we work on ourselves, when we keep growing, we're growing our relationships, all of them. We're planting seeds of goodness in everything that we do, in every relationship, every person that we touch in our lives.
Sometimes when we come to the other person and we tell them, listen, this relationship is important to us, I want to talk, and they sometimes might tell us difficult things, and it's gonna make us want to shut down, go back inside and just leave us, or it's gonna trigger us too. And it's very important to, first of all, to be honest with the other person and tell them that what they said is triggering us, but at the same time telling him thank you for sharing, even though it's difficult for me to hear that. Appreciate, because sometimes we protect the other person. Sometimes it can be our kids or our parents, people that we really, really love, and we are holding things that are important to say because we don't want to hurt the other person. And then the other person is not being able to grow from that also, because they sometimes understand that it's something that is difficult for us in the situation, in the relationship. And also at the same time, they might keep on hurting us without even knowing, because they're not trying to hurt us. They're just being them and who they are. And when they're telling us these difficult things, it's important to say thank you for saying that. And at the same time, it really triggers me.
Yeah. And also, like, if we don't say that, then we're going to find ourselves drawing back and back as a way to protect ourselves. And then we are not nourishing ourselves. We're not nourishing the relationship. On the other hand, if we go back and back and back, the other person at some point will see, okay, they don't want to be in this relationship with me because they're walking away, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I know, one of the things that people always ask me is about when they are in relationship, if the other person is it better to be in a relationship with a person that is similar to you, or with the person is the opposite? And well, obviously it's two different relationships, because if it's similar, it's going to be difficult because it's too too close. There might be things that you're doing great, both of you will do great, but other things that both of you are struggling with, and then no one will want to do it. And being opposite to one another is also difficult, because you might think different about things. And we need to remember, whatever it is that you choose as your partner, or even if it's your best friend or whatever it is, just remind yourself that if you're similar, you need to say thank you for the things that is easy, and to understand that you need to work together about the things that are not easy for you. And if you're the opposite to one another, you need to understand and say thank you that the things that are difficult, the person is better than me, and they can take control over them, and to see
Balancing.
how we balance and how we become whole together.
Yeah.
And it's really understanding that. So knowing if you're similar or not help us understand the goods and the things you need to work on in the relationship. So instead of being angry about it, just seeing that is easier for us to deal with, instead of just being frustrated. Yeah.
I think we're going back to one of the things that we spoke about in the beginning. I said in the beginning that with time, you actually start loving these these different things in this person, because you see that first of all, they're challenging things in you that you might be happy to change within you, to learn within you, to understand about yourself. So they're challenging us to grow. And they might also show us different ways that things can be understood, things can be done in a different way. That when we are set in our minds because we grew up in a certain way for our whole lives, maybe there's an easier way to look at things. And this person is really good at this, but I haven't been able to do it now. But now that I'm seeing them doing it, I can learn. And also just I find it so interesting to see how another person thinks and feels and interpret things. And I feel that when it's someone so close to us, like a partner or a sister, someone that we're in an intimate relationship, it can just be a very powerful tool to learn about ourselves. And sometimes it will tell me, oh, you know what? This is actually something about me that I don't like this much. Maybe I can try to do it the way that he's doing it a little bit more. Take a little bit of his character and infuse it into mine. But sometimes I will say, you know what? That's not the way that I do it. I have a little bit of an example. It's like a bit off topic, but so my partner really loves watching YouTube videos about history and war and politics. Like he's not like able. He does listen for hours every day while he's working. It's on the headphones while he's working. Politics and history. And every time he's telling me, oh, it's so interesting, I'll send you this video, and I'll send you this video. And at first I would say, wow, it's so amazing. He can do that. How can he listen to that? Yes, send me, send me. And every time I would open it and I would listen to 20 seconds and I would just, I can't listen to that. It's not for me. But at first I tried to like take on this interest, take on this, because for me it's like a superpower to be able to learn things with such a huge range of history and politics and languages, and like being able to absorb all this knowledge. I thought it was an amazing character and I wanted some of that, so I tried. But after a few times I just realized, yeah, but that's not me. He's amazing for him, that's amazing character for him, but I'm amazing in so many other things. And it helped me see the things that are special about me, that I can tell him, oh, I read about Ayurveda and I read about these recipes and I learned a new way to cook this. And for him, it's like, I don't know what you want. So what I'm saying is that seeing the character of another person can actually reflect to us also how amazing we are.
Yeah.
And show us our superpowers and shine a light on the things that are great about us.
Our superpower. Yeah.
Our superpowers. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I think we've talked about a lot of tools. Maybe we should summarize them.
Yeah. Oh, I want to say a little sentence because I feel there's this kind of, it's like an unspoken rule, right? That you hear a lot, or you used to hear a lot. I think now it's a bit less, but you used to hear a lot, this kind of like a golden rule that says, treat others like you wish others would treat you.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, treat others like they want to be treated.
What they need. Yeah.
What they need. Yeah. So I think that's kind of like the bottom line of things. The tools that we spoke about is how to do that, how to be effective about that. But that's the summary of things. Treat people in the way that they need.
Yeah. And well, if we summarize it just to the most important tools, first of all, remember that you are different people coming from different worlds, different needs. You love the other person, or you want the relationship with the other person. You don't have any choice but to be in a relationship with this person, and you want the relationship to be the best as possible. So you need to be honest, but at the same time, be patient and remember that the other person might not understand your language. So you want to speak in a language that they understand. Want to ask yourself, what do I really need, to take responsibility on your emotions, and ask the other person what they really need and how you can help them, because you want the other person to understand that you are there for them as exactly the same as you wish them to be for you. And we need to be also open with our body language. Sometimes we talk to a person and we know we're just putting our hands like this and we're not really listening, or we're thinking in our mind already what we're going to answer. And this is not being open. This is not listening. So really listening and asking questions. Also, if someone is telling you, when you're doing this, it's hurting me, so you need to say, okay, um, is there anything else I can do that will help you? Like, to help
Mhm.
them. Sometimes they don't even know what it triggers them. So to help them by asking questions, because you really, really want this relationship to be good, and accepting that we are different. And because we are different, it helps us to grow. So it's good that this relationship is helping us to see different things about ourselves. It helps us, triggers us, because then we find out the things that we need to work, the beliefs that we have about ourselves, and we find a way to communicate better, and we understand our needs, and we are able to work on what we need to do. We need to work on, because the other person, people say that a lot, other people are a mirror to ourselves. And sometimes someone can tell us something that we really won't care. We really will not do anything to us. And then we might say it to the other person and they will react immediately. So, you know they trigger us because it's something inside of us. So if someone told me something in a relationship, and they told me something that pushed my button, it's something that is good for me, because then I can go inside and do the inner work, and I can grow from that. So at the end, I might not thank them at this moment because it triggers me, but at the end, with myself, I might say, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that they triggered me, because now I can do the work.
Yeah.
And maybe after I will do the work, I'll be able to come to them and tell them, thank you for showing me that
Yeah.
this thing is triggering me, and I need to work on it.
Yeah. I want to add, you spoke about how to speak, but just we're summarizing the tools, right? So using sentences that start with I, so taking responsibilities
Mhm.
over our emotions, and speaking in a way that's not blaming but is self-centered.
Yep.
And of course, we said noticing the body language of the other person, being patient, like we said, when we offer our help, when we offer our guidance, and also patient towards them, patient towards ourselves.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, asking questions. Like you said that, right? Am I repeating what you said?
Yeah, yeah. No, until now it was okay, but just now, yeah, I said asking questions.
Okay, one last thing. One last thing. We talk a lot in our lives and in our videos about listening to the body, but I want to offer taking it just another tiny step forward, and that is listen to the body and remember what it said. Because, like we said in the beginning, if you're triggered about this once and twice and third
Yeah.
and fourth, it's worth remembering what it feels like, because next time when you're triggered, it'll be easier for you to recognize before you want to express it in a way that's painful. You'll be able to notice the emotion in the body speaking to you before the words come out. So creating this kind of map in the body, I love this map of the body tool, um, about what our emotions feel like, what our triggers feel like. Like I said with my partner, I could feel this emotion in me, this discomfort. He's not saying anything and I'm struggling. And I could just say, you remember I told you this habit? You're doing it right now. And that's it. All I needed to say, because he already knew we had this conversation. So listen to what the body is saying and remember it, and start building this habit of, I know what this emotion feels. And with this person that you're in a relationship with, also the communication will start being easier, because you both know that this is a trigger already, and it's not going to explode every time. You're just going to start recognizing each other's triggers and know how to operate with them as time progresses.
Yeah. Do you have a video just about mapping the body?
No, I don't. I should do one, right?
Yes, you should, because then it can be just a short video. People can find it easily and just use it.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
do that. Add it to my
Oh,
list.
okay. Great. Great. Thank you, sis. Well, I think we talked about so many things today, and we really wish to read your comments and see which tool did you take, and what did you think about it? How does it make you feel when you're in a relationship and you're being triggered? And do you have more tools to give us as well? Like we always say, we love to learn from one another, because we're a community and we also want to grow. We are growing all the time. So if you have more tools, just share with us and share with friends as well. Yeah. Okay, yeah, because we have so many relationships in life, and there's always a relationship that is needs more attention and to work. We need to work on,
Yeah.
and with people that we love and we cherish, and sometimes with people that we just have to be in contact with. We still need to work on that relationship. So send it, share this video with your friends, your family, with those people that you want them to listen to as well. You might
Just
do
want
the work.
to notice this.
Yeah,
And
I think you.
also, like, subscribe. And we would really, really be happy to see your like and subscribe, because we are a new channel, a small channel, and it really helps new creators like us
They might
to
see
reach
this
more
video when
people.
we be a big channel.
We'll still like and subscribe because you want to hear
Yes.
more of it. Yeah. So we do
Yes.
these kind of lives every week. We have a different topic, but we also have shorter videos, meditations. So go ahead and check these out next.
Yes, and we have the workbook as well in our link tree. We have different workbooks and a lot of new things that are going to be very soon in our channel. So subscribe, go to our link tree, and share, obviously. So thank you. See you again next week. Bye, Ala.
Bye bye.